Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle, and it's been a little while since I've recorded a specific YouTube reading, so I'm excited to get a little bit of a longer reading for you today. I kind of want to just leave this one open to whatever it is you most urgently need to hear. I've been having this feeling of something boiling behind the surface, just sort of my anxiety. I feel like I've been needing a little bit extra grounding. No surprise too, just with what we're being bombarded with all the time with news and updates and information. So the energies have definitely been swirling quite a bit. So I just want to see whatever urgent guidance wants to come through. Throughout the video, I'm going to be trying to hide my little broken nail. I'm going tomorrow to get them fixed, so please ignore if that bothers you. But I'm excited to dive in here. I have some oracle decks and tarot decks selected for us to dive in. And before we get into the reading, I do want to do another quick shout out to Otter Spirit. I am wearing some of their pieces again today. They have sent me so many goodies, and I'm just so grateful to have this partnership with them. Everybody I interact with from the company is incredible, so empathetic. You can tell that this is a mission-driven brand. Again, every purchase donates $1 to preservation of otters and other sea animals. So I feel like they are a company going after my own heart, but their pieces are just great quality. I have a couple of their mini bracelets on right now. And again, I always love getting their minis because they're just so delicate, a little bit smaller of a bead than the traditional beaded bracelets. I have the amethyst, aquamarine, and pyrite, which I've been wearing like daily just to call in some more abundance. I do have the tiger eye necklace here as well. And then I'm wearing the amethyst drop earrings. And something fun that I didn't know about these before I got them is that you can actually take off the little gem here, so the amethyst comes off fully. So whenever I just want kind of like an everyday daily hoop, I've been wearing these, kind of like my go-to daily earrings. So super cross-functional, lots of different uses. And again, the pieces are just beautiful. I will leave in the description my link as well as discount codes that you can use. If you're looking to re-up on some crystal jewelry, definitely check them out. Let's dive into the reading though today. So I want to go with these tea leaves and see what it is you most urgently need to know or hear. Okay, we got the month of February, which we are currently in. So talk about urgency. Let's see what else. So something you need to know for this month before the month ends is kind of the energy here. So again, February, can you see that? It's a little bright. Okay, we have younger man. Okay, very masculine energy. We also have angel as well as target. Okay. So with the angel card, it does say spiritual guidance, protection from harm. And then the younger man, older man, or just man, our dealings or relationship with either a younger man or an older man. Target says a goal-oriented person. So what this is giving me, just because this feels like a sense of urgency, there's a very strong masculine presence here. Now, outside of somebody being masculine in your life that these cards could represent, I'm even feeling like this is a time for you to be really in your masculine energy, but it feels like a very balanced masculine, okay? You have goals that you are working towards. You are actively moving towards them because that masculine energy, when it is well balanced, is very useful. It's necessary for us to accomplish things. It helps keep us focused on where we need to go next, what we need to do, what actions need to be taken. But when this is unbalanced, that's when you get into kind of falling into phases of burnout, overworking yourself, just feeling a little bit more like unaligned, okay? So what this really feels like is that you're experiencing right now this maybe a boost of energy or inspiration in taking aligned action. So this is not just kind of like the dreaming, this is not just sort of like the idea-driven, inspirational type of energy that the divine feminine can hold, where it's like giving you all of the, ways to nurture your creativity and feel really nurtured in your body. This is like having a plan, sticking to it, and going after that goal, knowing that what you do today is going to help impact you in getting closer to that. So it feels like instead of just envisioning or thinking about, wow, I would really love to do this, I feel like you're in this phase right now, or this is the energy that I feel like you're being asked to step into, where it's like, I see the goal, how can I align myself closer? What do I have control over that I can do today, even if it's something small, to get me to my end goal? Because you are going to hit this target. I feel like you are heavily in alignment to receiving some sort of manifestation, reaching some sort of goal. But again, there's something here about you really staying balanced in the masculine energy to say, these are the actions that I need to take, and actually following through on that. There could also be significance around a masculine connection. For some of you, I'm picking up also just like inner child with the man and younger man energy. You may be getting very nostalgic as well. Maybe rehashing some past memories, talking about your childhood, pouring love onto your childhood seems significant as well, because I feel like that's also going to allow you to step more into this balanced masculine energy when you are, again, aligning yourself to kind of the creative ideas and freedom that the divine feminine or your inner child can spark, but then putting them into physical action. Okay, so you do have the number 5. Your soul will build what it is trained to expect. So at the number 5, I feel like you are undergoing some really deep transformation at this time. Things are actively shifting. And with it saying that your soul will build what it is trained to expect, I think that goes in hand with this masculine energy that we're talking about, where it's kind of like doing your necessary reps, okay? Again, you have this desire, you have this goal, you have something that you want to see come to fruition. I feel like right now, again, with this being February, we're talking about right now. So as you're seeing this video, because I am recording this in February or before the end of the month, you know, I always intend that my readings are timeless. So if you come across this later, I think it's just talking about the month that you're in or right now. I feel like it's training your soul to be able to hold more. And by doing so, it's like doing those reps, taking the necessary steps. Let's say you want to, you know, be well known in your field. Okay, so you have to continue to expose yourself, put yourself out there, you know, in big ways and in small ways. You want to be a famous bookseller, you know, making sure that you are actively working on the ideas that you have, putting them down on paper, starting to brainstorm what this looks like, which publisher are you going to go to, you know, depending on what stage of this process and manifestation you're in. I think what you're being asked of right now, or what you're kind of being asked to align to, is taking the steps, okay, doing what you need to do and not feeling like it all has to transform overnight, but continue to do those reps, continue to take those steps, because it's inching you closer and closer to your desire, okay? You're going to hit that target. But let's get some more information here. Yeah, it's kind of like this idea of you've been calling in a new life, and now I feel like you're receiving that sort of urge or inkling to take certain action, because that's what's going to call in and cultivate this new life of yours, okay? So we have the 3 of Swords, Chariot on the bottom, 6 of Wands, Knight of Cups, okay? So I just heard victory over heartache, okay? It's like you are becoming victorious over the things that once burdened and hurt you. For a lot of you, I think what it is that you're working towards, what your goals are, again, the inner child energy is coming forward here, where it's almost like you're feeling very protective of your inner child's dreams, or of whatever your dreams are currently. But this does tap into that younger energy, where it's almost like you are validating yourself in going after it, okay? Telling yourself it is possible, we can do it, we're going to make it work, we're going to become victorious in this area. But I do feel like it's had to come with a lot of pouring love into yourself, healing past wounds, healing past times where maybe you were heartbroken or doubted that you were able to bring something to fruition. There seems to be some significance around past heartbreaks having to kind of be faced and work through so that you can rise above them and gain this victory and success that is destined for you. But I feel like it's like you're becoming victorious over the past. You're allowing it to actually move you forward. So for some of you, again, I was getting like that book writing example, whether it's writing a book or creating art or putting yourself out there in a public forum, whatever this is, there's something about you actually taking your past experiences and transforming and alchemizing that energy into something that is going to bring you success. So for example, it's like creating a piece of art that is directly tied to maybe a really horrible, traumatic, heartbreaking time in your life, but you were able to take it and turn something beautiful into it. Okay, so that seems to be significant here. And I feel like as a result of you dedicating yourself to transforming that pain, to working with your inner child and taking that aligned action, you're going to be receiving some sort of message. This message feels like this could just be confirmation that you are on the right path. Like, for example, somebody complimenting the work that you're doing, somebody noticing that something you're doing is different, or an actual offer. Okay, somebody who really admires you, possibly wants to work with you, wants to provide you something. But again, this is all a result of you taking charge, taking that leadership role in what it is you're going after. And rather than sitting idly by and saying, okay, well, I want this desire, it'll just come to me. And yes, of course, we can attract and we can manifest, and we don't have to chase. That's the energy I want you to focus on, is like, this is not a chasing energy, but this is also an energy where you're getting after it. Okay, you're not just sitting on the side waiting for somebody to show up at your doorstep with this offering. You're actually creating opportunities for these offerings to come in by putting yourself out there more, by doing the necessary work, by taking those steps and doing those reps where it's going to kind of train your body, your vessel, your nervous system to be able to hold the amount of success and admiration, recognition that is sure to come from your dedication to whatever this is. Okay. Yeah, there's something here about, I feel like you're getting out of this energy where, like, the example that's coming through right now is that, for example, in the past, maybe you always had this desire. You're like, man, I would love to have this thing, whatever this is. Okay, have this. Let's say like you're saving up for a designer bag. I don't know why that's coming through, but like you're saving up, you have this purchase, you have your eyes set. You're like, I really, really want that. That would fulfill me. This is what I want to put my money towards. Yet you put that out there and then you don't take any effort. You don't make any effort to save any money. You spend exactly the same way that you are. You're not making any additional money. You're not doing anything differently, right? And all the while you're like, man, if only I could get that bag, if only I could get that thing. And I feel like this energy is now shifting to where it's like, okay, I know that I want that. Here are the actionable steps that I can do. I'm going to start setting aside every paycheck. I'm going to put this percentage of it in my savings. And then once I save up this amount, then I know that I've earned getting this thing. Okay. And I want you to apply that bag energy. It's such a simple example, but that's the energy behind these bigger manifestations that you are trying to call in. Whether it's a love, like that seems to be coming through, whether this is like some sort of love connection, some sort of dream job opportunity, okay, some sort of dream collaboration. There's something to where it used to feel so in the distance, or you would always be like, man, it would be so nice if I could have that. But you weren't taking the necessary steps. Now I feel like you are, where it's no longer just an idea, it's actually something that you have actionable steps to attain. And that's allowing this to actually progress much faster and much smoother for you, because again, you're like meeting the universe, God, source, halfway. 8 of Cups and the Moon, and then 10 of Swords. 3 of Wands on the bottom. Okay. For a lot of you, there has been a move that is significant to this energy. Perhaps you felt like you had to move before you could do something, or there's an energy of coming through of, when I get to this milestone, then I'll do that. But I feel like you're kind of allowing this to just happen naturally and recognizing, again, taking accountability for what you have control over, where you're no longer just waiting for the perfect opportunity. You again are creating the opportunities that will bring this to you. And this has been a very deeply emotional journey. I feel like by you kind of recognizing, there may have been times where you were recognizing all of the ways in which you were hurting yourself from achieving this. Again, blocking yourself, refusing to take the necessary steps in action towards what it is that you know you absolutely desire. But I do feel like you've moved out of that energy where, again, this transformation has not come easily. I think you've had to leave a lot behind. You've had to leave not only just physical things, because this does feel like, leaving a job that doesn't feel aligned, leaving relationships that don't feel aligned, maybe moving out of a home. Okay, for some of you, I'm hearing like you had to move out. But there's something about outside of just the physical surroundings surroundings, there's also things you've had to walk away from and turn your back on internally, okay? Old belief systems, old limitations, even expectations that you used to hold that were weighing more on your decisions than what it was that was actually going to fulfill you. And so bringing all of this up to the surface, I think, has been extremely painful and difficult for you, but you are coming to the end of that. And as you transition out of that, I feel like that is the energy of kind of being in that cocoon state, you know, through the stages of the butterfly, where you're about to expand into that butterfly energy, where it's like all of that work that you've done inside, all of the sacrifices that you've made, as painful as they were, as difficult as they were, you are now able to gain that level of recognition, success, and expansion that you have been craving. And again, this is all from you taking that ownership over your path and your journey, not in a forceful way or an over exertion type of energy, but just like carving out time, you know, making the time. That's also another thing coming through, is like, if you really wanted something, you would make the time for it, okay? And that, I feel like, is something that you are actually now integrating into your day-to-day life. Maybe you're not working on this thing every single day, but there's something about you recognizing, hey, I have some free time, you know, instead of binging my shows or scrolling for 2 hours, I think I'm going to actually take that time and dedicate it to this thing that I want to see come to life. Whether this is journaling, visualizing, again, writing things down, taking the actual steps, putting up a camera and recording yourself, making connections, doing research. Okay, there's so many different ways that this energy can translate, but I feel like you've just recognized, like, if I want it that bad, then I need to work for it. And also, again, work on your mentality around it, where again, you're doing this in a balanced way. That masculine energy that is very present here, again, is a balanced masculine, okay? This is not something that is going, like, you know, into hyperconfidence, narcissism, overexertion, burnout. Like, those are not the energies that are present here. It really feels like you've done the bulk of the internal work, and you're now getting out of your own way by saying, I know I have control over this situation and I can call in my reality. I'm going to move myself closer and closer towards it. And yeah, I just feel like you're going to start really seeing significant shifts. If this is the path that you've been on, you're really going to start to see this, I feel like, over the next couple weeks. Or if this is something that you've been thinking about doing, but again, not putting that action in, do it now, because I feel like this is the prime energy for you to really see the fruits of your labor start to pay off. 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles and 7 of Swords. King of Cups. So this could also be an attraction of a masculine energy as well, where it's like you taking the action, moving towards it, is opening up the door for a new connection. Somebody who may be well established, maybe has something that they can invest in your idea or provide insight, even if this is just kind of like mentorship, leadership. This just feels like something that you've been waiting so long for, because I feel like you've planted the seeds for this desire. I'm hearing for years, okay? It could have been for years, where you just always were like, yeah, maybe one day I'll be able to do that. Or wouldn't it be nice if one day I could see this happen in my life? And it's just like that one day energy where you're seeing it from the distance, you're not pulling it closer towards you. I feel like now, even though it's a seed that you've planted a long time ago, you're actually doing the necessary watering, giving it the necessary sunlight. And I do feel like there has been a lot of, again, healing around your viewpoint on making this work, and also your relationships, okay? Because with the 7 of Swords coming out, 6 of Pentacles, this energy that you're stepping into by taking the necessary action is aligning you to receiving the same energetic output that you've been putting out, okay? There's reciprocity here, where it's like you're doing all those steps, you're meeting the divine halfway, they're then providing you the necessary, you know, resources, connections, people, reciprocal relationships, people who support your vision, you know, or are just there to assist you in whatever way. But I feel like this is coming after a time of you being heavily manipulated, discounted, okay? People doubting you for so much of your life. All of that cleanup, though, I feel like you've done so much cleanup recently. I'm hearing over the past like 2 to 3 years, you've done a lot of cleanup. So that means you've probably seen a lot of relationships ending, okay, familial, friendship relationships, separations, like just kind of losing distance or creating distance around certain connections, also creating distance around certain habits, behaviors, things that you used to do. There's something about you kind of like putting space between that and seeing the truth for how it was actually bringing you. Was it bringing you value or was it holding you back? And I think the things that were holding you back, and again, a lot of this could even be like the lies and the manipulation you've been telling yourself, you know, oh, I'll get to it one day. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could, but I don't know, I'm not going to. Like even those things, I feel like you've really cleaned up energetically over the course of the past 2 to 3 years, where now that that's mostly cleared up, you can see clearly now that there is a path. There is a path that you can walk to. And even though with this moon energy, you don't quite see exactly how things are going to come to fruition or how you're going to reach that final target, that final goal milestone, there's still some things and aspects of this journey that are hidden from you. You are seeing the path though, and you're at least taking the step, okay? The one step in front of the other, going day by day, allowing the path to be revealed in due time, not rushing this process, but knowing that again, everything that you've sacrificed, everything that you've let go of, all of the inner work that you've been doing, all of the aligned actions you've been taking are paying off. Okay, there's something coming in here that's going to feel so sweet. I just had like a tickle and a little coughing attack there. So this could also have to be with healing around your throat, the way that you speak, how you speak up for yourself, how you present information, how you talk to your journey, how you talk to your experiences. I think you've also, in this process of leaving behind things that were not serving you, I think you're also getting out of the energy of like always blaming your situation. And this is not to say that like your situation is peachy keen, because again, there's been lots of pain, there's been lots of heartache, there's been lots of difficulty, but it's kind of like you recognizing that your words have power. And the more you talk on how negative everything is, how horrible you have it, you recognize that you call in more of that. So there's something about you kind of choosing this path to say, yes, this has been my story. Yes, this has been difficult. I've experienced a lot of pain. I've experienced a lot of heartbreak, but I'm doing something with it. I am doing something with it, and it's gifting me these new opportunities, these new pathways that I never thought would be possible before. You're creating opportunities that, yeah, like a past version of yourself would have never imagined or could have only dreamed of. And there's something about this starting to really actualize for you. You're starting to see like, wow, if I keep going, if I keep trying, if I keep showing up, something's going to give. I'm going to get some sort of, again, goal, milestone. I'm going to hit that eventually, you know, releasing the timing, not rushing it again is very significant, but just knowing that like you keep the path, you keep walking, eventually everything's going to be revealed and you'll be exactly where you've wanted to be for so long. Okay, yeah, death, judgment. Yeah, there's been so much transformation. I feel like you're in process through you taking these actions. It's actually closing out an old way of your life. Again, even just that kind of nonchalant, inactive energy, you're no longer resonating with that anymore. You're a leader of your life. You're calling this in. You're transforming actively day in and day out to become the highest version of yourself, to reach that highest timeline that you've been wanting and craving for so long. This is finally coming in for you because you stopped like just, you know, it's kind of the energy of like, just praying, you know, if I just pray, it'll all happen. Well, yes, you know, prayer, meditation, visualizing, claiming certain energies and proclaiming these things, affirmations, all of that is good and it's helpful. There's something here about you now shifting into that aligned action. That really is the main focus of this energy. You're taking the necessary steps. Expect those rewards to come in. It's like cause and effect. You're doing this, you're moving yourself this way. Your success, your milestone that you're trying to reach is guaranteed at that point, okay? And the divine has your back in this. And I feel like with the judgment card as well, it's like you've been making the correct judgment calls. When you're faced with decisions or when you're faced with, again, even how to spend your time, you're like, I could do this, which wouldn't push me closer to my goal, or I could do the thing that I know is actually going to assist me getting there. It's like you're making the right calls for this, and it is so paying off. So I'm so excited for you. I know that this message is reaching exactly who needs to hear it, and I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to see you in the next message. Bye.